Next, we get the fleece. Now here you'll actually see I made a mistake. I presented the fleece to the camera to show that one direction of the fabric stretches more than the other. This is because you want the stretchy portion to... The Smiling Friends are back, and they've taken a sweet, far-out vacation trip to sun-kissed South America. Brazil, to be precise. What transpires is nothing short of what you've likely come to expect from these kooky characters and their escapades. This video has barely begun, but alas, I must go into spoilers. The darn thing's been out long enough that you've seen it, or at least know what happens if you care. In short, our heroes arrive at the Brazilian airport, find out they don't have a hotel due to some communication breakdown. They argue over what to do about it, eventually landing on the solution of just flying back home and agreeing to coordinate their plans more effectively next time. That's all. I've seen some people genuinely upset at this episode for a variety of reasons, ranging from abject disappointment over the mundanity of it all versus the marketing of the episode as a special, to outright claiming that it's just not funny and not what they've come to expect from the show thus far. Conversely, I've seen some people who not only thought this episode was funny, but even predicted before it premiered that the entire thing would take place in an airport and be deliberately underwhelming. What do I think? Personally, I think it's pretty funny, and an overall great showcase of what the show is all about, as described and pitched by Zach and Michael from the beginning. They've discussed before on multiple occasions, if I'm not mistaken, how the show's brand of comedy is seeped in transposing aggressively realistic happenstances on colorful cartoony characters. Just looking at Charlie, one might think if you hit him over the head with a big wooden hammer, he might squash down, bounce back up, have his eyes replaced with swirls as stars orbit around his head. However, the unique comic styling of Smiling Friends is rooted specifically in that hammer scenario, resulting in Charlie screaming, dropping to the floor, spasming ever so slightly, and caressing his now almost certainly concussed head while moaning and snorting.
To us, from the get-go, kind of the original fun of the show to us was these crazy, colorful, weird-looking characters, almost like aliens. They're just weird-looking. As crazy as they look, they're real. And I think if I could explain the show to anybody and try to pitch it to at least what to us makes it work, just that joke of these blue and green characters sitting there, but they're breathing and their chests are they're just real. That's the joke. Like, they blink and they have heart problems and they have ADD. And so that was the joke to us. Just like also animating the characters breathing and their eyes moving around and them kind of tapping. And part of that whole world to us also was just kind of realistic arguments and kind of talking how people talk.
Smiling Friends Go to Brazil plays out this ongoing conversation among Pim, Charlie, Glep, and Alan in such a brilliantly relatable way, I can't help but find it funny. The delivery, the flow of it all, the subtle yet characteristic responses and movements. This stuff is the backbone of the show's appeal. If you go back and watch my review of Season 1, you'll find that I always thought this was the case.
One of the primary reasons this show is so funny to me is due in large part to the juxtaposition of how this crazy world and its inhabitants look to how surprisingly relatable the dialogue, actions, and circumstances are.
I'd even go so far as to say that this episode is the single best showcase of the Smiling Friend crew's interpersonal dynamics. We didn't get to see much of Glep and Alan in previous episodes, and when we did, they were often doing their own thing separate from Pim and Charlie. The only instance that springs to mind where all four of them exchanged more than 2 lines to one another was the beginning of the Halloween episode. I'm hoping we'll get more of the gang interacting amidst one another in Season 2, and do believe Zach and Michael have told us to expect as much. Well, either way, that's basically everything I care to share about my experience with this special. It was good. I don't know what the people in the disappointed camp were expecting. If you're in that camp, you thought this episode was kind of disappointing, let me know why in the comments. No bad faith here, I genuinely want to know. Anywho, back to trying to survive during record inflation and an ever-worsening economic recession. Bye! Well, that was a different video from usual. Hey, let me know in the comments whether or not you liked it. This isn't going to be like my regular content. I'm not going to exclusively make 4-minute videos now, but, like I said in my update video, some will be long, some will be short. Either way, if you're new to my channel, subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, that's the sort of thing you can expect. You can see my Patreon credits are on screen right now. You get a credit at the end of my videos and behind the scenes stuff and lots of other benefits besides if you join my Patreon page, so, that's something. I don't know why I insist on doing these end slate things off the cuff, but yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment, pledge to my Patreon if you can. I will see you the next time I see you, and now I've got to go back to work and school and everything else. Haboo! Haboo!